Good day. Happy Friday. How's everyone doing? Happy Super Bowl weekend. That's what we're going to talk about today. I'm going to keep this right and tight. Um, Look, lots of opportunity to make make some good choices, and lots of opportunities this weekend to make some bad choices. And so I remind you of your goals, remind you of what you want to do, what you're trying to achieve, and think about how you will feel Monday morning. Win or lose the game, depending on how you eat and drink, how will you feel Monday morning? Are you going to have any less fun if you're stuffing your face with chicken wings and beers and nachos? If you didn't, are you going to feel worse? How will you feel? And keep that in mind, because the fun aspect of it all won't matter. If your team wins, great. If your team loses, fine. It's the same as would be whether or not you're eating chicken wings, nachos, beers, whatever, right? Chips. So, and yet we can have treats and do that while we're in a deficit, but like I don't know anyone who can have just one nacho, right? I can't have just one wing. And if you can, great, have at her. But if that's the excuse you're going to give yourself, it's like, oh, it's Super Bowl weekend. Well, guess what? Next weekend is Valentine's Day. So you're going to give yourself an excuse because it's Valentine's Day. And then a week after that is something else. Or maybe you run into a friend you haven't seen in a while and they want to go for a drink. And now you've stacked losses instead of stacking wins, right? You're giving yourself an excuse. So instead, if you're hosting a party, fantastic. Make better choices. You control the narrative. You control what's being put out there. If you're going to a party, be mindful of what's happening around you. If you go to a party and you're hungry, that's where bad choices happen. So have the protein before you go, a protein shake, a meal. Nothing wrong with having a meal before you go, a high protein meal, beef jerky, drink a shit ton of diet soda if that's what you want to do. But make sure you don't go in thinking, oh, I can manage this till I get home at 8 o'clock and have dinner, right? Depending on what time zone you're in. It's important that you plan in advance. It's important that you remember your goals, because whether or not the team wins or loses, whether or not the food is eaten or not, you're going to have the same amount of fun. Don't think that the food that you don't eat reduces how much fun you're having at this party. At the end of the day, it's about being with people and sharing experiences and having fun. And the food part sure plays a big part of it. But while you're on this program, you have goals to set. Once you reach your goal weight, then if the Super Bowl comes up and you want to have a day where you're going to have a beer and some nachos and a couple of wings, great. Put that in. Put that as part of your program, or track it properly. But while you're on the program, let's try to dive in, be all in, right? And achieve it. Because I can tell you from past experiences with myself and my other clients, when you wake up Monday morning and you decided that I'm going to treat myself, and you have wings, nachos, and a couple beers, you won't feel good. Not only just from the food, but you won't feel good mentally, because you're like, now you're back, you set yourself back. And your experience on those days is not going to take away from eating, if that makes sense. You're not going to have any less fun because you didn't have the wings. That's my point. You're not going to have less fun because you didn't have the beers. I always joke when someone says, oh, you don't drink? I say, yeah, I don't really drink much anymore, right? I can still have fun. Why? Don't you want to have fun? Look, I can still be a jackass without drinking beers, right? So I can still hoot and holler and be annoying without having beers, right? So think about those goals, practice your no thank yous, plan in advance, and think there's always another event, right? So how many of these events you're going to have before you go, oh, I can't have anymore? because next weekend's Valentine's Day. And maybe you're not doing anything, maybe you are. But my point is, there's always something around the corner. And maybe Tuesday you go to the mall, you go somewhere and you run into someone who wants to grab a beer. There's another thing, right? So plan in advance, be mindful of the weekend, practice thank yous, and stay on track. All right. Okay, I'm here for support if you need it. If you feel like you're gonna start eating something, send me a message. I'll stop you from doing it. I'll do my best anyways. To give you an idea what I'm doing, no nachos, no wings, no beers. We're watching the game and we're having a taco bowl, right? Getting some ground beef, getting some, a few chips, whatever. I'm not even making it, but it's a taco bowl. And that will give me the feeling of having nachos because I'll have some ground beef on there. And there you go. That's it. That's all. Have some Coke Zeros and then some water and watch the game. So go Eagles. I hate both teams, but let's wish both could lose, but they can't. But I definitely don't want the Chiefs to win. So anyways, enjoy the Super Bowl commercials. Practice thank yous. Plan in advance. Think about how you're going to feel the next day. You're going to be bloated, tired. You're going to have regret. You're going to feel shitty, most likely. Okay? All right. I'm here if you need it. Have a great weekend. Have a great Super Bowl, and we'll talk soon. Okay? Cheers.